Hi beautiful people, my name is Kristen. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Today I am going to talk about what I plan and hope to read in the month of May. And I, for the first time, am going to do 3 buddy reads and have my monthly goal of my classic, my nonfiction, my new release, plus maybe a couple other goals. So I'm a little ambitious, a little more ambitious than I even am. And May is kind of a busy month for somebody who kind of works in the school year calendar because that's the end of the year goodness. But I'm going to give it a go. I am. So the first book that I will be reading with the lovely Nikki at Red Dot Reads is Heart's Invisible Furies by John Boyle. This is I think it's like a whole coming of age story. It follows a gentleman throughout his entire life. He is adopted, and so it's kind of one of those search for your roots and your heritage, and it's set in Ireland, and it just sounds fantastic. It's gotten lots of great reviews and discussion, and Nikki is one of my favorite people to watch on booktube, so I'm super excited to read this with her and see how we get on with it. Secondly, I will be reading in the month of May with the lovely Sandy at Mrs. Reads a Lot, Such a Fun Age by Kiley Reid. This, I think, is a story of a woman, I think it's her nanny or her babysitter, and she I don't know if she sees it or she hears about it, but the woman is with another child, and the babysitter is a black young woman who is accused of kidnapping a white child that she is supposed to be watching. And so it's one of these that is dealing kind of with social drama and perspectives and some racial tensions and injustices. And so again, this has gotten quite a bit of discussion. It has a little thing on here that says it's part of the Reese book club. So I like Reese, so we're going to see how that goes. Then I will be reading with the lovely Michele from Books Cause Insomnia, and this also will count as my classic for the month. This is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This is, I think the country is Colombia, but I'm not totally positive. It is documenting kind of an entire family estate with it and their kind of power or social status within a particular region or city. It just sounds like a really great kind of orientation. It's kind of the backdrop or the back cover description talks a little bit even in comparison about like Genesis and beginnings and roots and all those kind of things. I have heard some reviews that a lot of the characters have similar names or it's hard to follow along with some of that, so I'm going to try to even take some notes either in the book or alongside to follow along, but I'm super excited to be reading that. So I will be reading those 3, hopefully at a similar pace to those that I'm reading it with. And then, because I may need to pick up something else on my own, I will be pursuing my goals. And that one will be my classic for nonfiction. I am going to read City of Oranges, Adam Lebor. This is an account set in Jaffa, which it's Palestine, Israel, and it's a look at the Arabs and the Jews in particular. But of course, there's the Arabs, the Jews, and the Christians that all have the same root stories, root lands, basically the same God. It's just who you're following in history. So I really look forward to reading this account, just learning some more. I got this from I think I got this one at a library sale, so we'll see. We'll give it a go. That'll be my nonfiction. Then we come to the booktube spin, which is just this quirky little fun thing, right, that we do every 2 or 3 months, and then we have 2 months to read the 2 books. So I scanned on my books to be read that were kind of part of the longest, and I think number 20 that came up on the booktube spin was To the Birdhouse. Cathleen Schine, I think would be how you say her last name, but this is also, I think it might have been a used bookstore or a library haul, but I think I've had this book just about the longest of any books. Almost 2 years, I think this has been sitting on my shelf, so I'm really happy to go ahead and read it. It is a story told from the perspective of a young woman who has just gotten married, and she's still kind of in that first year honeymoon phase, but her mother has been divorced and is now in a new relationship, and I guess the new relationship mother boyfriend is a little bit stalkerish or sketchy, or there's some drama around that the daughter is dealing into, and there's weird connections and that kind of thing. It's a short little book. I mean, it looks like a happy cover. I don't think it's supposed to be like a creepy thriller kind of novel, but we'll see. It just sounded interesting for the dollar that it was wherever I picked it up. So I'm going to get to that. And then, ironically, number 17 in my list, which I told you I hadn't like done anything beyond just, hey, I'm just going to pick the top 20 in my TBR stack. And when I was watching the editing after I'd already filmed it, the one that was number 17 was Winter Glass by Lexa Hillyer. And this is one I got at the Dollar Tree. And I knew that it was a sequel. So when I was filming, I thought to myself, gosh, I sure hope it's not number 17, or maybe I should replace it because I haven't read the first one. And of course, this is the one that got chosen. But then I decided, no, that's not fair. That is number 17 and I'm going to read it. So now I need to read the prior one, which is Spindle Fire, which I had just picked up from a used book haul. And this is a retelling of the Sleeping Beauty story. So there are two sisters. One is like the rightful like king queen daughter, and then there's an illegitimate daughter. The king basically had a mistress, and so they're half sisters, but they are supposedly, I think, good friends. And so the one gets enchanted, and I think the other one is trying to save her or be involved or something like this. So anyway, it sounds really interesting. It's set in a little fantasy world where curses and magic and things like that can occur. So this was recommended over 2 years ago by a friend that I was following on YouTube, booktube at the time, Elizabeth. She hasn't put out any recent videos, but I'm hoping maybe she'll see my messages and realize that I'm actually reading her book. And she had recommended to me the other series, Caravel, which I loved that book. It was a great recommendation. So anyway, we'll see how this one is. And then I will be reading whatever new release I pick from my book of the month. So that will be another book. And then on a maybe that I hope to, just going to go ahead and put it on there as my TBR. There was another book in my nonfiction that I'll definitely get to sometime this year called The Lemon Tree by Sandy Tolan. It's an Arab, a Jew, and the heart of the Middle East. So it's another nonfiction that is similar to, I think this one's lemon and the other one was City of Oranges, and then The Lemon Tree. So it's all citrusy. It's all citrusy. It's all the same region. It's just another perspective. So this one I'm going to read for sure this month. This one I hope to get to this month, and if not, I'll get to it sometime this year. They hopefully will complement each other. And so this is my stack of what I want to get to in May, plus the new release. So we'll see how that goes. It's the most ambitious TBR I've ever had in 1 month, to be honest, but I'm going to see how it goes. The other thing that is new to me that I've never done before is reading 4 books at the same time. I have never read more than 2 books at the same time. So it's an experiment. This month is an experiment for me. So if you want to leave me a comment about any of these books, if you read multiple books or have any tricks or suggestions or advice, I am open to that. Let me know. Give me just a word of encouragement, like you got this, or whatever you want to say. I appreciate you stopping by, taking some time. If you are not a subscriber, consider subscribing and giving the video a thumbs up. I appreciate your support as always. Thank you much.